You are now listening to the Salty Virgins Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Salty Virgins Club podcast. We have a special guest here to talk about some finance, but also, be a guest host. Help us out. Our guest name is Phillip Karaya. Phil, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Like you said, my name is Phillip Karaya. I'm a recent graduate from Georgia State. I run a financial consulting company, and I very much so enjoy churning credit cards and using money the right way.
So, to start out, why don't you just explain to the people what churning credit cards is so that we have kind of a baseline?
All right, so churning credit cards is basically the practice of opening up different credit cards and then utilizing the sign-up bonuses and then either keeping them open or closing them. It's really dependent on the person and what they want to do with it. Some people like to keep it open because of how it can affect your total amount of credit card use. So say you only had $1,000 in available credit and you use $1,000, you're at 100% and you look like crap. But let's say you have $10,000 in available credit and you only use $1,000. Now you're at 10%. So that's a lot better.
It's a decent explanation. We appreciate it. So, what is the card that you use to churn or get points, and do you have any cards that you would recommend for people to get to churn some points?
All right, so it all depends on where you are in life. Some people are in positions where they can utilize charge cards, which I think are the best travel reward cards outside of stuff like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So the charge card that I use is the American Express Platinum card. It allows you pay a pretty hefty annual fee, but if you travel, it totally outbeats it by 1,001%. So the annual fee for it, for example, is $550, right? So a lot of people hear that and think that, this is ridiculous. Why would you spend such money on such a card? But if you travel, off rip, you get $200 in airline credit. So I just buy myself Delta gift cards every year. I get $200 for Uber. I get gold status at every hotel, gold status at every car rental place, $100 for Saks Fifth, $50 every 6 months, and then a bunch of other things. So off that alone, if you take 1 or 2 trips, you've already outbeat, the $550 that you're spending. Just depending on where you are in life, that depicts what kind of card you should use, because the charge card isn't necessarily for everyone, because whatever you do charge to the card, you have to pay off at the end of the statement. So you're not allowed to carry balances like with regular credit cards. But there are plenty of regular credit cards that have cashback rewards, or even like a Delta Skye Miles, the Platinum one or the Gold Skye Miles card. They're really good for, getting points for $1. So you're not, just spending money unnecessarily without getting anything for it.
Awesome. Perfect. So tell us about, your business. I know you own a business, so tell us a little bit about that. You can plug it. Please plug it. That's why I'm having you on.
All right. Feel free if you Google my name, that'll probably be the easiest way to find anything about me. You can spell my name Phillip space Karaya. My name is Phillip Karaya. My main company that I run is called Karaya Consulting. It's a small financial investment company. It's 2 sides to what I do. I do asset management for people that reach certain goals or certain criteria, normally accredited investors. And then I also do teaching as far as helping people with establishing companies, establishing personal credit, business credit, and then some basics for trading and investing.
Hear that, guys? Make sure to follow his Instagram page that I will put in the description to give him some business, because I'm sure there will be some wonderful kickbacks if he gets a couple more clients.
So how did you find your way to like that? Like, how did you decide to go start? Did you study business? Did you just always like finance? How did you get to where you are and starting that business and getting to where you're at today?
All right, so I actually never have formally studied finance, funny enough. I've always loved math. So when I graduated high school, I knew I would do something either with math or science. My mom's a teacher and my dad's an engineer that sits on a nonprofit board where he was a treasurer. So my dad used to always get me to do a bunch of stuff with math, and I generally loved math. So when I graduated, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's try something in STEM. So I went to go work for an IT firm, realized I did not like that. And then after that, I went to work with my dad at H.J. Russell and shadowed him, and I was like, okay, I don't like this either. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll go along the medical field. So I started working in pharmacy my freshman year of college because I figured I might as well go to medical school so I can learn pharmacology and have a leg up before I started. My sophomore year, I did a program. I went to go live in Greece, and I worked in a public and private hospital out there. But just after that, I realized that I didn't necessarily want to be a doctor anymore. So I came back, and I ended up switching my major from biology to public health, and with a minor in public policy with a concentration in nonprofit leadership, because I've always been doing a bunch of stuff with nonprofits. All throughout college, I ran organizations, normally as finance chair, sat on fee allocation committees, and I never really saw the investing aspect of stuff. It was always just accounting. But funny enough, as soon as I changed my major, my first public health class, the professor, when everyone's doing the little like, oh, what do you do, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, I work in pharmacy as a technician, this, that, and third. And he's like, oh, have you ever thought about working for Kaiser Permanente? And I was like, yeah, nah, I haven't, because I had a lead position at the pharmacy I was at, and I was like 19, and I literally was over people that were like twice my age, and was dealing with pharmacy inventory, and it was cool. Like, I honestly liked my job and where everything was going. So, but eventually I was like, you know what, maybe he's right, let me give it a shot. Ended up applying for Kaiser and getting it. Coolly enough, I had 1/10 of the responsibilities I had at Kroger, and I got double the pay. It was wonderful. And so once I started working at Kaiser, there was a pharmacist that I worked with that really did not like going to work. And so me and him we were cool. So we used to talk about everything, like about life. And he made about $250K a year roughly. And his wife stayed at home. He had 2 young kids. And he was like, oh, well, you know, like I'm really trying to find my way to like not do this, or like not come in. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what do you want to do next? And he's like, oh, well, I'm trying to get into trading because that's what his stepdad does and a couple of his stepdad's friends. He's like, yeah, they net each at least like $1 million a year trading. And I was like, wow. I was like, really? Because I hear, you know, everyone tells you about like, you know, invest in a 401k, like, you know, the 403b plan, you know, buy mutual funds, blah, blah, blah. But no one really talks about like actively like day trading securities, managing funds, trading options, trading futures, like, or even trading cryptocurrency. You want to be like far out in the side. So I took some time, read up in the middle of school, and then after 3 months, I was ready. I invested. I actually started trading crypto first. Started with $300, and I definitely got lucky in the beginning because I tripled my money within like a week and a half, and then I realized that this was definitely what I wanted to do. I think it ties back to kind of like the, have you ever heard of the principle of favorability?
No.
Okay, so basically it's like you get luck in the beginning for the stuff that you're really meant to do, because a lot of people get deterred from investing and doing stuff because they have a bad experience. I guarantee you if I would have pissed away all of that money in the beginning, I probably wouldn't have been as excited or persuaded to keep learning and to keep doing it. So
yeah, 100%.
Very, very relatable. Like how I put money into crypto and then immediately lost it.
See, I made money and then lost it on the bubble. Not all of it, but I made money and then didn't sell because I thought it was fucking brilliant. I was like, I am so good at this, and I just like held my money, and then it went from like crazy profit to like essentially what I had invested.
Nice. Breaking even is not bad, but yeah.
No, but when you had all that money in front of you.
Oh yeah, it hurts. It hurts, but it could be.
Kevin also
worse.
plays poker, so it hurts extra hard.
All right, like you're someone that could trade some options.
It doesn't hurt extra hard, but yeah, I have a buddy at work that trades options, and I've like absorbed knowledge from him on multiple occasions, but I haven't really fucked with it. I feel like I would have to educate myself a lot more before I really want to get into doing that.
Well, if you need someone to talk to, you got one now. Well, you got 2 because you got the other dude at work too.
yeah, cool.
But so I started scaling off my income. I didn't have any bills. I was making $20-something an hour, no real responsibilities outside of putting gas in my car and food in my belly. So I started living off of like 15-20% of my income, and then was just investing like crazy. When I got out of school that semester, I worked 4 jobs, sometimes 80-hour weeks, to try to make some extra money to trade. I made about $6,000, invested all of it. And then my goal was, we had a pact at work that everyone should be quitting their job within 6 months. So for me, it was more so about like consistency, because that's what trading really is about. It's not really about making money. It's about risk tolerance and like just being consistent. But I got to the point where I was lapsing my monthly income weekly, so I walked away from doing everything else. And then, I started my company a while ago, so maybe like a year and a half ago. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into all of that crazy jazz. Eventually, I moved away from cryptocurrency and stuff, but that was a shortened version of it all.
And you do financial consultations for like individuals or businesses or like asset management or kind of what's your niche
a little bit of both, a little bit of
Okay.
everything. But more when I started off, it was definitely more individuals. But then I know individuals that like run businesses and stuff, so I like being I get called all the time to answer questions about stuff or ask about should this company invest in this, or how do you feel about nonprofits investing money in the market, which actually a lot of nonprofits do, but not as a startup. You do that later on down the line, not to get rich quicker, to find capital.
Okay. And what would be like your advice for a lot of people kind of within our age range? A lot are making enough money to support themselves and maybe only a little bit on the side, or just like kind of trying to start saving but are having a hard time doing it. What's kind of your advice for someone that's in that situation but wants to start kind of being smarter and investing a little bit of money for the future?
You got to start budgeting. And the way that I do it, or the way that I even show people, is that you list out your mandatory expenses versus like your expenses, your variable expenses, because they're not things that you technically need, but you have stuff that you don't have a choice around getting. Like if you have rent, if you have insurance because you have a car, if you have a car note, if you're paying back student loans because you're out of school, like those are all, well, I mean, you can do deferment, but for the most part, like all of those things are things that you must do. And then also like groceries, because you have to eat. But as far as going out, buying alcohol, buying weed, if that's what you buy, like whatever it is, it's like a variable expense that you choose to what to do with your money. That's where you can kind of tweak and see, how well can I do with what I have? Because then you can start like sectioning off. All right, I'm going to put aside, maybe I make $2K a month. I'm spending $1K on all my regular expenses. I use $1,000 to play around with and do whatever I want. You can still play around with $500 and then put $500 to the side. By the end of the year, you got $6K. Either.
And what do you use? So like for budgeting, do you use a tool or do you do it all in Excel? Or because I do it in Excel, like Google Sheets, because I like to have control over it. But I'm also a little bit ridiculous with it. Like some people aren't as dedicated to it. So do you have like a tool you use or a simple format you kind of try and follow for it? Or
yeah, I definitely use Excel, but I also like I started playing around with Mint, and I actually do like it as a budgeting app. It's free. You can pretty much link all of your banks and all of your credit card service and stuff. It even sends you reminders when you have stuff due. But yeah, definitely Excel initially, just so you can list out exactly what you're spending your money on and where is it going. I feel like the smartest thing to do is you need to have a 3 to 6 month buffer of all of your regular expenses, and anything past that you should invest, because then you don't have to necessarily feel the hurt of, oh my gosh, like if I lose this money, like I don't have, what if something happens to my car? What if I, blow a tire? What if, I want to get engaged and I don't have the money for it? Like you have enough money anywhere to do what you need, and credit should never be used as a safety net, which is something that I see too many people look at it like. But yeah.
you ever used, I think it's Personal Capital is the tool. I was reading about it the other day. It's like a new tool that's kind of like for investment and looking at like trying to get a broader scope of your like investments and stuff like that.
Oh, I haven't.
I'm trying to find it right now. I want to like I wanted to like learn more about it, but that could be something to check out too. That was like a tool I saw on just an article. I've been trying to like get better about investing and kind of just like finance in general, besides just saving money recently.
Nice.
So it's one of those tools that's kind of like out there, but I don't know if it's viable or like useful for a lot of people. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but the next step is definitely just to educate yourself on, like, you have to look at the kind of lifestyle you're trying to live. I feel like that's one of the most important parts to play into what you do with the money you have today, because it's either you sacrifice it now or you pay for it later. There really isn't an in between, because if you're someone that lives way above your means all during your working years, as we age, once you're hitting 60, 65, you don't even have the strength or normally the health to continue working and making the same kind of income. And we all know Social Security isn't going to be there for us, and pension is also flying out of the window. So it's definitely time to start looking at different ways to grow your money. Because imagine you start, buying rental properties, or you start buying out mutual funds now that are going to perform well over the next couple of years. Even if they don't perform well, the fact that we have risk tolerance right now, like we have the opportunity to make mistakes and not necessarily pay for it. There's nothing worse than, I think, being old and realizing that you don't even have the time or the energy or effort to, do what you want to do. Once you're married, you have kids, you have more responsibilities. You don't have as much income as you do when you're young and single, or even if you're just like a newly married couple without kids.
Okay. Have you dabbled in property investment at all, or even like investing in the REIT REITs?
Oh
the,
yeah,
funds?
Real estate investment trust. I have not, but funny enough, I actually just established a real estate firm because one of my friends does wholesaling for houses and makes like an absolute killing, like easily between like 10 and like 50 a month. So
jeez,
yeah. And then I met another guy when I was playing golf with the same pharmacist from the story before. Me and him are actually still really good friends. He's an awesome dude. I ended up playing golf. We were at the range hitting and just met another old dude that was by us. We just ended up striking up conversation. And he was like, oh, yeah, you know, what do you do this, that, and third? So I explained to him what he's doing. He's like, oh, I know someone that does exactly what you do. He's like, I'm going to give him a call. And when he calls me back, I'm going to come find you. So we were hitting, like, on the other side of the range. And the dude, like, runs up to me and hands me the phone. He's like, hey, I got the guy on the phone or whatever. Here. I'm like, hello? So, right. So I started talking to the guy. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I used to trade options when I was in college, this, that, and the third. So I wasn't necessarily sure how old the dude was. He was like, yeah, nah, I do, like, I'm in a property management, do this, that, and the third. And then it's like, yeah, he's like, oh, any friend of his is a friend of mine. I'll tell him to shoot you my information. We'll get together and talk or whatever. So I ended up going to get coffee with him. He actually runs a real estate hedge fund. And he said he's 40-something now, but he owns a boat ton of properties everywhere and is about to move to Puerto Rico for tax purposes in order to... Anyways, but yeah, so...
Sounds like he's running from the government, but...
Running from taxes, because you know that whole rule about as long as you live somewhere like 181 days, technically, like, you're... Anyways, for tax shelter purposes. But, nonetheless, so those are the two people that I'm learning from as far as what to do real estate-wise. But I made sure that I went ahead and, filed a legal entity, did my EIN, opened up my business accounts, and then I started building business credit as well, so... all the little things to have my ducks in a row, but I want to hit the ground running within like the next 4 to 5 months, roughly. I
got some property business that I do want to talk with you, but I want to do that off mic.
Okay, cool.
Because I got a way for you to make some fucking money.
All right, I am all for it. But
cool.
yeah,
Either you guys, I've been grilling Phil. Either you guys have questions?
No, I knew you were going to have fun with this. Like, I knew that up front.
The issue is Kevin's asking all the same questions I would ask.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I talk to Phil on a regular basis, so, like, I just know things through osmosis from him and his Instagram. He's always telling you to open a business and open business credit. But I think he says that at least 3 times a week.
Open a business for tax purposes, not necessarily business credit, because people don't always know what to do with the credit. But opening a business, definitely, because going negative and then passing it along. Like when I first was learning stuff about taxes, I bought this big old book, like How to Not Pay Taxes. And I was like, all right, if this ain't straight to the point, I don't know what will be, but I'm going to give it a shot. And so I read through it and everything about small businesses and all the different stuff you can do. And surely enough, this was my first year that I technically did taxes like on my business, because I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for like a year and some change. And I definitely made money, and I also definitely did not pay a cent in taxes and still got money back. All legally.
He made a lot of money.
Damn. That's wild.
He tries to flex on you, like when you go eat, he puts down the platinum Amex, and you have to be like, no, I can pay for food too.
I'm poor, but not that poor.
I do feel that. I like doing that.
We all know that, you'll be the one footing the bills before too long as the lawyer, or at least you'll be the one, you'll pay it with the consultation. So I'm just paying it forward. I'm paying it forward, honestly.
I am absolutely sending somebody an invoice for that.
I'm waiting for the day that Jordan just starts giving me free shit. I'm just waiting. I'm holding on to the friendship for the skin of my teeth.
Fingers crossed, free flights come soon. Listen, it could be less than 365 days. We can go anywhere in the world for free.
I was talking to Kayla the other day. I was like, I need to find a rich friend. I just don't, I have friends that are, doing fine, but I don't have any rich friends. So, I need you to become that rich friend, because I'm not good at making new ones.
Yeah, the friends we got are the friends we got. This is it.
We are nearing 30 very quickly.
So what's the end goal for you guys? Like when it's all said and done, 10 years from now, if you can do everything you wanted to do, what would it be?
Jordan, you go ahead and go first. You're kind of like spurning it right now.
I want to work for Delta. I want to be middle management. I want to have my own team of lawyers, associates, deal with that. And just be happy.
Nice.
Being able to go wherever I want to go. Be able to do whatever I want to do. If I want to say, hey, I want to go to Paris with my wife right now, let's go. If I don't want to go to work on Fridays, I want to have that, carte blanche understanding or whatever it may be. That may not be 10 years. It might be 12 to 15, but,
nonetheless,
those are the kind of things that I want to do. I don't want for too much. I do want to do some good stuff in the community. I've been thinking about that a lot. Kevin and Jackson, I swear to God, if you're snickering, I'm going to stab you.
No.
There's a couple, I want to open grocery stores where there are none, like out in Lithonia where there's no grocery stores where people can get fresh food.
Food deserts, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That particularly bothers me because I know how much, fresh food matters to me, and I could only imagine if I couldn't go to Kroger or go to Walmart even and just, get food or fresh food, that would drive, I would go insane. So I can't imagine that people just live their whole lives without being within walking or driving distance of a Kroger or Publix or whatever. So that's kind of a thing that I want to take up.
That's awesome.
As I start making a couple dollars.
Dope.
Mine are pretty simple. I just kind of want to keep doing what I'm doing at work, with slight variations, but that general path, and keep doing it at a level that I can jump around and work with new products or new technologies if I want to, and kind of glide to a lower level management position. And I don't have I have friends that are I want to retire by 32. I really just want to retire by 55, because my thing is, if I'm retired for that long, I don't know what I'd fucking do. So I just want to be happy enough at work that I enjoy myself, but then work my 40 hours, make a reasonable living to support people and kind of be able to support my lifestyle that I want.
Nice. And
then just retire a little bit early and kind of chill. I don't really want to project too high at a company, because most people I know that are way up there are just so fucking stressed. The way to make real money and not be super stressed, I mean, you're still super stressed, but it's a different way, is doing kind of entrepreneurial shit or something like that, because then you're working for yourself. I just don't want to be up that high at a company.
I can dig it.
Jackson's career path has changed 6 times. I don't know what he wants to do now.
I'm going to do the same thing I've always done. Work at indeterminate amount of companies doing in their accounting departments, get my CPA, and make a reasonable amount of money, and basically go watch sports all over the place.
Nice.
It's where I'm at right now.
3 months ago, you wanted to be an FBI agent.
That was just kind of how things were trending, because I'm also going to be a certified fraud examiner, and my
sweet.
master's program is a feeder into the Miami FBI office.
Nice.
Jackson fucking McDonald FBI would be so cool.
That would be the funniest shit.
Jackson in an FBI jacket with aviators, I would shit myself. That would be incredible.
I would absolutely. And living in Miami, there'd be a real Miami Vice vibe going on there. That would be fun.
Jackson's shirt would always be half unbuttoned, just fucking
I'd be
hair.
Hopper from Stranger Things. We're going straight all the way back to Miami Vice. Floral shirts, chest hair, decent stomach, tucked in acid wash jeans.
That would be incredible.
Bring it back, man.
Imagine me and Jackson in white linen pants on South Beach.
Oh my god.
That'd be nuts. That'd be disgusting, but that would be nuts.
That's funny. Well, end goal for me more so is just to keep working and then get to a position. I want to self-fund my own foundation. So my family's originally from Kenya. They both came from basically third world nothings and built a pretty decent life for themselves. Them and a handful of their friends that they're still close with all do, pretty well. They actually, yeah, even for people that were born and raised here, they do extremely well. So my end goal is really just to help bridge that gap of wealth inequality and the lack of information, throughout the world. I feel like we have a lot of resources, but it's so kept within a certain type of people, a certain community.
It's gate kept. It's gate kept from the general public. Because I know just talking to you, I learn so much about how the greater overall financial systems work that I'm a pretty educated human being, but I had no idea about some of the things that you tell me about and we, talk about and stuff.
And it's
like I was asking you business questions like 30 minutes ago. Like,
and I feel like that's the sad thing, because it's like all the things that I feel like we should be taught in school, excluding like the crazy amount of like wealth inequality between like here and the rest of the world. But even within the U.S., the amount of information that's given to people, like I feel like by the time you're graduating high school, you should at least understand something about, accounting or like balancing a checkbook or, balancing an account, since people don't use checkbooks
even just
anymore.
simple budgeting. Just
Correct.
simple rudimentary budgeting is just like so important.
Right.
It's
I'm going to
crazy.
keep it a buck with you. I've never balanced a checkbook. I have written 3 checks in my life.
Yeah. But that's just electronic budgeting. And if you're using cash for all your payments, it's harder. But if you're using I use all credit cards, so I just download statements at the end of the month. Like it's, and for the Mint and stuff, if you do that,
Right.
just even that with no other knowledge is just so important for kind of helping people realize how much money they have and what they can do with it.
Definitely. I think it's crap that you can't do any of that within the school system. However, you can sign a $50,000 loan a year as soon as you get out to go to college, with with compound interest at that.
Absolutely wild.
Yes. And not like a 1 or 2% like interest rate. It's like 12%.
Definitely. Yeah, especially if you go like private. Maybe if you get a subsidized loan, maybe you get a 5 to 7. So, the government takes care of some taxes.
They're getting rid of subsidized loans soon.
Ugh, I don't doubt it. Do you think what do you think is going to happen with Bernie trying to tax the stock market in order to pay off all of the student loans?
Let Elizabeth Warren tax Amazon. That is what I want to happen. But that's because I hate Jeff Bezos.
Why do you hate Jeff Bezos?
He's a dickbag. Not only is he a bad person, but he had sex with his best friend's wife.
Wow, I never knew who he cheated with. That's tough. But honestly,
Yeah, no, not great.
that's tragic. But you know what? His wife, people joke in the trading world that his wife is the best Amazon investor than anyone in the world, because she walked away with billions.
Yep. He walked away with, what was it, like 72 bill?
Yeah, it was close to 80. Yeah. Woo! That ain't bad. I mean,
And she donated like 50% of it to charity, like off rip.
it's a good woman.
Shout out Mackenzie Bezos.
Right.
Shout out Mackenzie Bezos.
A real woman.
Yeah.
Change this vibe, take back your vibe. My crew went live, your crew can vibe. My eyes see blue, my backseat's in bed. Cash out on content, brick out in AS. Smoke less and feel blessed when I'm dressed to think less when I'm obsessed and stay stressed and smoke less. Yes. Take out the trash and go. I don't need you no more. And I know that you're scared of what I can do to you.
So on Twitter today, there was a tweet that I had a comment on about watching Netflix with subtitles. Someone was throwing shade at people watching Netflix with subtitles. I exclusively watch Netflix with subtitles, and I think we need to talk about it because it felt like that wasn't the popular opinion.
It's
No,
not.
it's really not.
Nah.
The only real subset of people that routinely watch things with subtitles are people who watch anime subs
Or are deaf. But
or
that's-
deaf.
That's not.
That's true.
I think I have bad hearing.
Accessibility matters.
Yeah, accessibility does matter. Did you know you can get subtitles at movie theaters?
No.
Yeah, they have showings with subtitles.
Oh.
No. There's like a thing. It's like a contraption. I wish you guys were looking at me so I could show you. But like there's a contraption where it basically put like it's almost like its own little teleprompter, like the presidential ones that are like just like glass screens that you put like on your cup holder, and they like project the subtitles. I don't know how it all works.
There is also
I'm so
showings
glad
with subtitles.
podcast is the visual medium.
There's some showings with subtitles at certain theaters. Like the one near
There
the
is that.
Tinseltown one has showings with subtitles.
Do you go to the one?
No, I don't go that far. But like when I'm watching shows, mostly it's because I just get tired of watching and then missing like what someone said. Game of Thrones is classic for this. Like watching and not understanding what someone said because it was whispered or the accent. Like I just didn't understand the word and having to go back and having the subtitles just make sure I can keep watching because I always just like miss certain things or want to like. When I read it, I feel like I digest it better, so I follow along with the show better. It does take it will take away from like action sometimes if you get caught reading when something very visual is happening. But I just kind of got used to it, and now I just enjoy being able to like follow along like that, and always know what people are saying because I like hate having to go back and not understanding stuff. I also learn people's names better that way.
Okay.
That's cool.
Sure. I believe you. It's just, I don't know. I guess when I'm really watching a show, like Thrones is the one exception because watching Thrones from the beginning with subtitles, you learn a lot more. But that's like you have to be an active participant in every minute of that show, except for the 8th season, or you'll miss something. I'm not like that with most shows. Like, what's a show that I watch a lot?
So shows like Friends or The Office, I won't do it. But if I'm watching a new show, that's when I'll turn subtitles on. If I'm watching a show that I haven't seen before, not like MasterChef, but like a show with a story.
Black Mirror. I
would turn subtitles on for Black Mirror for sure.
That show's intense.
Really?
Yes.
I guess I don't know. I just don't. It's just not a need for me. It's not, and I definitely don't think that's within the norm. But you said it like a decree. Like we're watching Netflix only with subtitles on, which was a nuts move. Hello, are you there?
I got a lot of favorites on the tweet.
I'm proud of you.
I had a big Twitter day today. Today was slow at work. I had a lot of meetings that I was not an active participant in. So I was just sitting on my phone on Twitter.
So you needed something.
I rarely argue with people on Twitter, and today I was just like, ugh.
It's that
You
day.
were a feisty boy.
I really was. I was in my bag for most of today. Subtitles are most. How many? 14 favorites? That's not bad. And then I think I had a bot respond to me. I tweeted about Megan Rapinoe, our queen.
Pinot.
We're ordering jerseys, actually.
We did group order jerseys.
Let's keep that on the down low because
No, we gotta wear
less
them.
than reputable.
No,
Listen, you didn't have to say that.
like, come on, Jackson.
But yes, our queen, Megan Rapinoe, World Cup champion.
People hate her. Why do people hate her? I know why people hate her.
We know why people hate her.
The guy responded. He was like, I said, for context, I said something about how, like, if you can't stand, like, Manziel and McGregor, who are both guys that, like, I love. But then, like, also make the argument that Rapinoe, you don't like Rapinoe because she's arrogant and cocky. Because they're, like, the same. And then so he responded saying, like, oh, but she's a social justice warrior. And it's like, wow, someone that's, like, suffering through something, like, unequal, having an opinion. Like, if you agreed with that opinion... If she had, like, I'm guessing the guy I was arguing with, if it was a real person, if she had a MAGA hat on, if you agree with that opinion, you would think they're, like, awesome. So I'm just saying that you have to differentiate between, like, someone being, she's talented and stuff like that, and people just try and degrade that. So it's really frustrating because there's arguments to be had about a lot of that stuff, but people just outwardly hating someone that's, like, a arrogant and, like, backs it up is just wild to me because that's the most entertaining thing in sports.
Absolutely. Like, we see these issues with NFL players the most because, obviously, they're the most flamboyant, but also that's a sport where celebration isn't like celebrated, which is so weird. But like,
Dude, Ocho Cinco celebrations, the old celebrations,
Listen.
I lived for it.
this is a sports celebrations podcast from now on. No, like, Rapinoe, she won all 3 trophies, right? She won the Golden Boot, the Most Outstanding, and like obviously the championship, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She, again, like I said on Twitter, if I won an intramural championship, I don't want people to look me in my fucking eye.
I still wear my shirt. I'm an adult.
If I won a World Cup of my sport,
Again.
all 3 trophies, again, but all 3 trophies, don't fucking talk to me. You don't get to talk about me.
I wholeheartedly
Keep
agree
my
with
name
you.
out of your fucking mouth.
I actually won intramurals at Georgia State this past year and won the 3-point contest, and I surely enough still wear my shirt, and I'm framing the ball that I won from the 3-point contest.
Hell yeah, dude. That's huge.
Exactly.
She, like, just for context, she told our president to shut the fuck up and then went ahead and scored all of the goals in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and then won all of the trophies available to a player. And then Alex Morgan's tea sipping celebration that people got mad about, I was like, no, celebrations are good. You need, like, that's good. That's why NFL celebrations need to come back. Like, that's what sports are about.
When you dominate on the world stage, you should be able to do anything you fucking want. And no one should be able to say anything about it.
Dog, if you win the World Cup of beer pong, you're flexing. Like,
Oh, definitely.
That's what I'm
Definitely.
saying. So, like, they went out and they dominated. It wasn't like, oh, they won.
they called
by,
their
like,
shot.
And they won. Because she said that, like, 10 days before the World Cup that she wasn't going to the White House.
And he said,
And
yeah,
then they-
fucking win it first, bitch.
And then she was like, bet.
She said...
Yeah, that was nuts. But, like, you should be able to celebrate for anything, and you shouldn't be mad that athletes... I know it's an insecurity within people that, like, these athletes are better than them at the things that they want to be doing, so they shouldn't be happy about it. But, like, you gotta get over yourself, my guy. Megan Rapinoe should be able to celebrate. OBJ should be able to celebrate. You know, like, that's just what it is. Like, they're at the top of their worlds, I guess you can really call it. Let them be happy when they do something all worldly.
Dude, it's crazy. I would talk about at college, like intramural games, like that, like just intramural games, just competitive intramural games. I was like, this is incredible. I was super serious about it. So then, like, just thinking about, and I remember playing high school sports, I missed the shit out of that because that was like, there's no feeling like it. And then you amplify it, the world stage. Nothing better. Biggest event. Only happens every 4 years. Oh.
Listen, in my fucking adult baseball league in our playoffs, we were already planning on buying bottles of Hennessy and going to a fucking club for winning the fucking season.
We get shirts for soccer, and I wear them all the time in the corporate
Exactly.
league.
As you should.
Exactly.
You earned it.
They're dry fit shirts, too. It's dope.
Ah, those are the best.
Like, for my fraternity league, we got dry fit shirts, and I still wear mine. Like, and we didn't win. We didn't win a single fucking thing. We came in second a lot of times. We came in third. Still wearing the jersey, though.
Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy to me. Like, just celebrating is just so natural, and it's so entertaining because it's very relatable. And it's very, like, when you're supporting that team, like, that celebration, you just, like, you feel it more, and then when you're opposing it hurts more. It just makes, to me, it makes sports more enjoyable overall.
So how do y'all feel about trash talking,
Yes.
like in person?
I love
You
it.
should
I want
be
everyone
talking
mic'd up.
all the shit.
I don't talk shit, really. I talk a little bit of shit with, like, my good friends.
Yeah.
But I don't talk shit to, like, strangers because I'm fine, I'm good, but I'm never the kind of person that can talk shit to anyone and always back it up, and I hate, like, being shown up. So I talk shit selectively, but I love it. Like, I want everyone mic'd up. I want to hear all the players talking shit to each other. Like, I live for that shit.
Again, Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox is my favorite player because he hit a home run and then called somebody a fuck nigga, like, on live TV. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. There's nothing else that you need to show me.
They were, like, fighting as he was rounding the bases.
Yeah. And he was like, Like the ball's gone. I don't know. Go get it. Like,
I'm a huge fan of bat flips. I live for them. If you rock the ball and everyone in the world knows it's out of the park, toss that fucking bat to the moon. I love it.
you should be able to like have sex with the pitcher's wife. Like, if you hit it, just like what was it? Bellinger who hit it into the McCovey Cove?
Max Muncy off Bumgarner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bumgarner starts talking shit because Muncy walks out of the box. Muncy tells him, "If you fucking hate it so much, go get the ball out of the ocean."
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You
Big
can't,
time trash talk.
Big time for the shit talk.
This is
huge.
So Little League All-Stars, like when you're like the age for the Little League World Series, so like the important
like
All-Star years.
12.
Yeah, 12 and 13.
I was pitching for my team and I got rocked like no tomorrow. Like these are like 200 foot fences.
I
This
think we
kid
should
hit
make
this
a note
ball.
how Kevin's talking about being on the Little League All-Star team that I was not on, and I play college baseball.
Dude, baseball's a scam growing up. Like that shit it's all a scam. But like yeah, this kid hit the ball 400 feet and I've never felt something so bad in my life. So like I can't imagine like pitching in a professional sport and then the batter rocks you like that and just fucking toss. Like I get why people fight about it, but like I want it to happen.
No. I believe that if your manhood is affronted by that, one, be better. Two, like you have to be ready to fight about certain things. I get it. But if somebody's just like cracking like 8 home runs off you in the night and then they start bat flipping after like 3, you just got to eat that. You can't be mad. Like you just have to eat that. Like it's be better or this is the punishment.
Go get the ball from the third deck. Go get it and then we'll talk about it. That's incredible.
Have little Jimmy throw it back.
So yeah, trash talking, good. Being successful equals trash talking way more. It seems simple.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
So yeah, that was my Twitter adventure today. I've been trying to stay off Twitter, but today I fell back. I relapsed.
Speaking of Twitter and the virality of things, how did you guys see that Russia is using face recognition software
to collect data.
People are signing up.
Wait, the what? Hold on, what? The face? Are you talking about the old person cam thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Face app, which is the app you have to use to do the old age fucking thing. Yeah, that's just run by like a Russian like science.
Is it?
company.
I didn't sign up for it
Yeah.
because I was a little bit concerned because it wasn't like an Instagram filter. It was like an app, but I didn't know that.
I'm gonna go find the Wikipedia.
My buddy at work did
Nothing-
it, so I got to see my picture, and that was cool. But I haven't signed up yet, so that's good. I'm gonna stay. Not. Too bad we're
Nothing-
releasing. People are gonna know, but
nothing pops up out of nowhere. That's all I'm saying.
fair.
Like,
fair point.
If
Okay.
some-
From Wikipedia, FaceApp is a mobile application for iOS and Android developed by Russian company Wireless Lab, which uses neural network technology to automatically generate highly realistic transformation of faces and photographs.
Yikes.
yeah. There's going to be deep fakes of people getting pounded out by Donald Trump tomorrow.
There are so many people who can no longer be politicians anymore.
It's
Absolutely.
It's true, because now they keep it on the cloud, and not only that, you're not allowed to use the app without giving like your name and email, and 99% of people did that. So now they have not only your face but a little bit of data about you.
And I saw one thing that was like they were illegally accessing like the photos in your photo albums too.
Wow.
To like get a better picture of your face. So yeah, if you signed up for that, hold that L.
But
This
then
is what you
also
get
people
for
were
trying to
people were like surprised that social media apps were taking their data. Like
Right.
this
what
this
they-
is
Yeah,
this is what
this
this
is
is.
literally marketing companies.
Oh, I have a conspiracy theory.
Oh
about
boy.
the
Put on our
the Twitter
tinfoil
outage.
hats. Here we go. Here we go.
Yes. The Twitter outage the other day.
Well,
I think
Yes.
they
What
used that. Twitter went down for I want to say like 4 or 5 hours, something like that.
It fucking stunk.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah, it was during work hours too. So I know Jackson was bored. So I think they used that to enact some sort of algorithm, a la Instagram or something like that. because I keep seeing the same tweets a lot, and I used to not see the same tweets a lot. Like, I might see it once or twice if it was retweeted by a different person, but if I see it retweeted by the same person like 6 times a day, I feel like they're pushing some sort of algorithm. I don't know what it's for yet, but I do believe that they instituted some sort of algorithm in those down hours.
I have not noticed that.
You said you weren't hashtag on here that much either.
That's interesting. No, it's like I'm gonna have to like look out for that now.
Yeah, because I keep seeing the same tweets, and I don't like it. I am upset. That is what I am. I just want my content. I want my happy stuff, but
I just want to send and receive memes.
that is all that I need. Memes. Retweetable memes.
What's on with this? Have you guys been following the Area 51
Yes.
stuff?
They're up to like
So it's essentially
1.8
like one of those
mil.
Facebook. It's like one of those Facebook pages that was like everybody pouring our fans at Hurricane Irma, or are they like actually going to enact something?
I don't think they're
It-
actually going to enact something. Well, okay.
The literal-
law of averages, one person out of every like 1,000 is probably going to show up there.
Which means
Yeah, there's
that's
still a good
700
amount of people. I think they're like at 1.some million people that have signed the petition to go.
which makes like 100.
There were enough people talking about it that the Air Force put out a statement saying, "We will protect our assets by any means."
Jeez.
They're gonna
Shoot on sight. Shoot on sight.
They're gonna shoot
They're
with
gonna-
some stuff no one's ever seen before.
Yeah, they're gonna use that fucking laser that they have. They have a laser. That's not a joke. It's like a rail gun. It's
Oh,
terrifying.
I don't doubt it.
A la Stranger Things?
I don't watch Stranger Things.
Oh, no. Oh, man. I've watched it. I finished it. So I've been feeling all sorts of things about it.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Jackson is your guy.
I guess continue.
But yeah, it's just funny that like that meme had triggered something like to the Air Force, but somebody like one poor Pentagon intern that's like our age had to explain to the Secretary of Defense
What a meme
That-
is.
one, what a meme is, and two, what's going on. They're like, are they actually going to like? Do we have to prepare for something?
But the thing is,
No.
they still just like people are dumb.
Oh yeah. That's unquestioned.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we hear about somebody being microwaved or something by the Air Force. That when
Someone's gonna get fucking toasted, dude. One person.
quite literally just like
The thing is, we just
toasted.
won't hear about it. That's the thing.
Somebody's gonna write a story.
We just won't know that if they actually have anything back there worth protecting, we won't hear a thing.
It's true. Those people might as well have never existed.
You hate to see it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
really do hate to see it.
I do believe that. I do believe that the powers that be have a lot of power and stuff like that.
Well, they've shown that they do because J.P. Morgan smuggling cocaine. And
No one's talking about it.
Wait, what?
JP Morgan had like $1 billion worth of cocaine.
$1 billion of cocaine.
on a ship, a cargo ship that they owned, and it was like
It wasn't a cargo ship. It was a fucking submarine.
No, it's a cargo ship.
Then what
Yeah,
was the sub?
it was a freighter.
I thought what was the submarine then?
I
It was
have
$1
not heard about the
billion
submarine.
worth of cocaine. It was like a marginal headline for half a day, and then it's gone.
Oh my.
I talked about it today. The government is controlled by cocaine, which is the most ridiculous thing on earth.
$1 billion? How much cocaine? $1 billion in cocaine.
It was like 14,000 kilos or some shit.
Oh my god.
It was enough to like fit in a New York City block.
We're gonna get a cease and desist.
Listen, they're talking about it.
Listen, if we get a C&D from JP Morgan, that is the first thing we're tweeting. We're putting that on Instagram. They will not silence us. We are truth speakers. I would go on a whole goddamn crusade. They'll definitely kill me and then sprinkle cocaine on my body.
Wow, 17.9 metric tons of cocaine.
Holy shit!
That's far too much
fucking
cocaine.
kidding me?
Nope.
I don't even know what that is in pounds, but I know it's too much.
You said the word metric in tons, and I got scared.
Instead of getting
JP
sold for
Morgan
about,
cocaine?
Yeah, that's exactly what I typed.
That's all you have to type.
1.3 billion. We were leaving off 300 million. Sorry, 1.3 billion dollars worth of cocaine.
Wow. No cartel would risk such a large amount of their product unless they were pretty sure their method was low risk and they had the right controls, in quotations, in place, which could well, including corrupting officials. Wow.
It says
Listen,
U.S.
JP
federal
Morgan's-
employees are still considering whether to pursue civil or criminal forfeiture of the ship.
Wow.
Considering?
Wow.
Do we just take this boat or nah?
Can we vote to condemn this? Is that what we're going to do?
They're not going to, because there's money back.
There's a picture of just bricks in bags of cocaine being loaded off this thing. This is...
You know, they showed a video of that drug dog. That dog was so goddamn happy. He was like, I get to do something. Son, there's so much cocaine. There's so much of it. Listen, there's so much.
This is the best day of my life.
I've searched so many airports and I've seen nothing. And you're telling me there's enough cocaine. I don't even know if dogs could conceptualize it, but there's a lot of cocaine.
Oh my god. JP Morgan's asset management arm, which owns the ship, and MSC together paid $50 million in cash and a surety bond to secure its temporary release. They bailed their ship out for $50 million.
Wow.
Dog, $1 billion, 1.3. Oh my god.
I gotta see how their stock reacted like in the past week with this news coming out.
It's probably shot up.
No, it took
The
a
price
minor.
will break-
It took a minor dip, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it definitely barely has moved. They're up 0.34% for the week. I see.
Oh my
Talk about
stomach. They're
Price of a brick just
considering
went
pressing
up.
charges. What are they thinking about?
Wow.
They're
Have they
thinking
ever
about
found
the
this-
shadow government.
Have they ever found this much cocaine at one time?
Right.
Probably not.
I guess everyone.
Like-
how does this not affect them? Considering, I think they had earnings today too. This is ridiculous.
A lot of the finance companies did well today. Citi did well today or yesterday. I think Wells
I
Fargo
guess
did
they
well.
diversified the wealth.
I called
Largest
Netflix right.
cocaine busts.
Podcast, a visual.
Philadelphia drug bust is largest cocaine haul in U.S. history. Wow. Wow. It's the biggest cocaine bust in the history, and they're considering pressing charges. The government is.
Chase owns so much.
Are they going to sue JP Morgan?
The biggest financial company in the entire United States, basically.
Which made money off the slave trade. Just putting that out there.
But if you find $1.3 billion under your bed in your bedroom worth of cocaine, you don't think they have enough to like?
It won't fit under your bed, Kevin. I don't think you're understanding.
Well,
I mean, if you woke up in a room,
I was
full of-
speaking metaphorically.
Right.
It wasn't.
but still, like, if you woke up, there aren't many rooms like in buildings where you could fit that much cocaine.
that's true. I mean, but I don't know. As a company that has like 2.7 trillion in assets, I feel like they have enough power to, I guess, sweep this under the rug. Which is why even for someone that keeps up with like the stocks and stuff going on, I heard nothing about this. I saw no notifications, nothing that blared. So I think that's crazy.
Hold on. Laid end to end. The bricks of cocaine, how long do you think they stretch laid end to end?
Around the earth?
No, okay, come on now.
Okay,
Let's not be ridiculous.
No, I don't know.
10 miles?
Somewhere in there, 5 to 10 miles.
2.5 miles.
Ah, dang, I overshot it.
That's still a lot of fucking cocaine.
Cocaine is oh, Jesus. There's a picture of the bricks in the boxes. You.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta find this one. All right, let's see.
And I just
Is
still
this-
want more Chase credit cards. I do. I love them. They're good
Man,
credit cards.
and they're super anal about it because they're one of the companies that follows the
'Cause of all the
524
cocaine.
rule. Yeah, definitely. They gotta be selective.
They need that fucking money. They gotta pay the plug. What you mean?
They gotta bail out their cargo ship. Why do they own a cargo ship?
To fucking smuggle cocaine! Clearly!
Dude.
We're definitely getting a C and D for this. Absolutely. There's no way we don't.
What a fucking wild time. This was a minor headline.
This should be a major headline.
It should.
This should be a full-blown scandal.
It
but
should.
It's nah.
Are we whistleblowers? Does
Yeah,
this make us
I think so.
We're not whistleblowing, it was news!
Was it though?
It was seized. They had to bail out a ship.
Like,
We demand justice. For what we don't know, but we demand it.
I can't believe this.
This is
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
Thank you.
The
for
comments
bringing
on some of these articles are wild.
that. What do they say?
Lot of tin hat wearers.
Ah,
Are
CIA
they tin
seizing
hat
it so they
wearers?
can flip it.
That's what they did in the 80s.
Wall
How do you
Street
think we got
bankers are
the
biggest
guns?
dope dealers on earth. They control the White House and Congress. Okay, these might not be conspiracies. Hold on.
They might be onto something.
Wow. All right, anyway, this gets deep. We got to stop talking about this. Jesus.
all right. Moving on. Next point.
What is how to go about if you like it, not what is that?
It was supposed to be indulging in your significant other's interests, and then you put in subtitles.
Oh, my bizzle. Okay.
Yeah.
So get into, I don't know what you want to talk about with that.
So recently, me and Sid were in New Orleans, and we got to talking about sneakers.
Is this
and
like a
stuff,
sex thing?
which- I said sneakers, you gross monster.
Well, okay, I'm the gross
That doesn't
monster.
answer his question.
Yeah.
It is not a sex thing. So we were just like talking about sneakers and stuff because, as we know, that's one of my things. And she was like, "Oh, you know, that might be something I might want to get into." Yes, both of us in a money-sucking hobby. It'll be great. So, like, it just so happened we were walking around doing some shopping, and we walked into a store that actually had like the history of Jordan, like the 1 through 14, like display. So I kind of went through it with her. I was like, this shoe is this, and this shoe was his first championship shoe, and shit like that. And like, she actually took like a liking to it, and she was like, oh, I like this one, but I don't like this one, and that one's cool, but I wouldn't wear it in that color. So she
Good.
really kind of took to it.
Does she have the right opinions about which
Yes.
Jordans are the good
Listen,
ones?
I guided her with a firm hand.
Listen,
guided her.
we don't associate with people who wear 9s.
Or 2s. Get those 2s out of here. And then, like, I gave her the design background because she's interested in design and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this was the first one when he first came to the league. Then they tried something different with this, you know, upscale shoe, and it didn't work. And then he broke his foot, and then he couldn't really wear the shoe anyway. So, like, there's that going on. Anyway, so she, like, really took to it. And now, like, we have, like, a Google Doc of all of our sneaker releases that we want.
Oh.
And it's kind of cute. There's a couple things coming out in the next couple months that are pretty good, mostly Air Jordan 1s. She likes the Air Jordan 1 and the Air Max 1 and the Air Max 97.
No.
So she has indulged in my thing. I didn't have to indulge in her thing so much because I think nails are cool. I have some sort of interest in makeup. Because it's so expensive, I want to know what the money that I give is going towards. And stuff like that. So, like, we kind of indulge in each other's, interests in more than a surface, oh, yeah, you love that, babe, that's cute, kind of way. And I wanted to know how you guys felt or went about those things.
Kayla and I, we don't have, I don't know if we have any, like, shared hobbies, like pure shared hobbies. Like we enjoy a lot of similar like activities. We both like to travel and go kind of like new places. We both like trying a lot of new food and stuff. We both like beer a lot and like going to breweries and things like that. But actual hobbies, like she likes the Gators, so like college sports, and she has an interest in sports. But I'm like very passionate about sports. So she kind of like falls along with the things that I love just through being together for so long, and kind of vice versa. Where like the things that she loves, I'll like follow along with and be able to hold a conversation about, but we don't have any real like personal hobbies that we share. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, I've never dated anyone that I feel like we've had a direct interest in the exact same things. I definitely think I've dated a handful of people that are entrepreneurs, so we get to talk about how to expand and just how stuff goes, what works, what doesn't work. I'm also big on, I love like eating and trying new restaurants and traveling when I have some free time. So I feel like that's a nice, easy one. I mean, and museums.
This man eats a steak every day.
We don't like food, you know?
We are a Big Boys podcast, but this man eats a steak every fucking day. I swear to God.
I've cut.
He puts it on his Instagram story and flexes on it. Oh, I'm at Ruth Chris today. It's like, this is your third time this week. Can you not?
Sometimes it's just a business lunch, you know? So.
Yeah, sure. Write it off as whatever.
There you go. But yeah, so I definitely think like it's important to, you know, have some things that you can do together, like, or at least talk about it or take interest in it. So it makes it easy. But when it comes to traveling and food, I feel like that's an easy given, because sometimes when you're away from work, you don't really want to talk about work. So you can just go outside, you know, like maybe be in nature, like go for a walk, like walk around a park or travel and like have some fun, like in new environments. I think that's the easiest thing.
Kayla's so good too, because I like poker a lot, and I'll even like watch. I follow along with like the big poker tournaments and stuff. Like I just really enjoy it. And she'll even like ask me questions about hands that are going on, just like kind of trying to learn about stuff. So that's kind of like how we just have to show a genuine interest in each other's stuff. She bites the bullet pretty hard on that, because there's no way that interests her.
Dude, that's awesome. So how'd you get into poker? Quick sidebar.
I think my dad had taught me like how to play, but we just played like simple games, just like card games. And then it was like we played some 5-card draw, and then I saw on TV years ago, it was a guy named Chris Moneymaker like won the big tournament, and it was on ESPN for like the first time, and we like watched. I saw it on TV and saw them playing Texas Hold'em, and like wanted to learn how to play, because that was like what the guys winning all the money were playing. So I learned, and then I really took a liking to it when I was like 17, actually studying the math in the game and like trying to become good at it rather than just know how to play. So I've always played a little bit, kind of like part-time. There are times like in college that it was almost like a supplemental income, but usually it's just kind of like on the side just for fun, because I enjoy it, and it is a way to make some money if you stay good.
So do you use like game theory when you're, you know, applying ideologies on how to make decisions in poker?
Yeah, it's an important part of it. Poker's interesting because you can only use game theory against people that are good in using game theory. So you have to like know, it's more about just like knowing people, and I just like it's because it's social. Like you go and sit, and everyone's kind of like generally very social about it. It's wild because you're attacking each other and trying to like win their money, but everyone's just like very social and cool about it most of the time. Like that's what I enjoy the most about it. And then the math behind it, and actually kind of like the probabilities and getting into making like the correct and optimal decisions. I enjoy it because I like math and stuff. So that's kind of how I get my fix on like math shit.
That's awesome. You sound like you'd be a really great trader.
It's interesting to me. I haven't really fucked with it too much, besides like Robinhood, but it's interesting to me because it's the same kind of ideologies.
Open up a paper trading account and immediately go to options and test your hand. It's a paper trading account, so you can be as high risk, lose 30,000 at a time and get it back. But I promise, if you catch the hang of it, you'll be like, thank you for pushing me in the direction, because I'm great at this.
So paper trading meaning like theoretical trading and not actually like...
So basically
trading?
Paper trading is you get an account and you trade against the real market, but it's not with real money. So all of the decisions...
Okay. It's like a practice account.
Correct, but it's against the real market. So it's just like you're using real things. But I think the best thing is to, when you're first learning, to go in there, dabble your feet in it, and then write why stuff goes right or wrong. Then you just tweak your trading strategies. And then once you're ready, the main difference is like the emotional attachment that you have to actually trading money. Especially in like large volumes, like the most
it's similar in poker.
Definitely, the most I've lost in like a single day was like 12,000, and I promise you, like not a lot of things can bother me in life. Even that didn't really bother me in life, but now anything else that happens, I look to it as something very minor, because it's just like this isn't even close to my worst day. So
damn, that actually sounds, just doing that, because that's just kind of interesting, getting to play against the real market with play money. Maybe we'll have to look into it, but
he'll be doing it by next week. Don't even have to.
Nice.
But yeah, Kayla's pretty good about taking a liking to my interest, or at least asking to be interested. She will fall asleep, but she gives it an effort. That's all that I can ask for.
How do you navigate the fact that we don't trust horses around Kayla?
It's cool because I'm comfortable enough around horses where like I'm comfortable with being in front of them, and I'll pet them, and I trust the ones that are like there to not lash out and attack me. Like if I'm in front of them, I don't get behind them. I have the limitations. Like they're a being and they see me and I see them, but once they can't see me, that's kind of where I draw the line on that. So I can be comfortable around them without, I don't fully trust them. Like I'm not just like doing whatever the fuck around them. I'm on my toes, but it's a balance. And that's from being around them so much, like with her. For context, Phil, my fiance's family owns like horses, so they've been around them their whole life.
Oh, nice.
So they still have horses, so when we like go back home, we're around them. They like still have to take care of them every day and shit. So I've become okay with them, but I still, as a whole, do not trust them. I don't like getting behind them or anything like that. Like people get kicked.
Oh, yeah. Kicked to the face by a horse is probably not.
People get stepped on. Like shit happens, you know.
True.
They're still wild animals, and they're huge.
Real big.
And
And they're not very smart.
big dumb, strong animals.
They die for the dumbest shit, dude. They die. They get a tummy ache and they get on the ground and roll around and they flip their stomach and kill themselves sometimes.
Wow.
I wish it was that.
Because they can't puke. Yo. They can't puke, so that's what they do.
Oh, snap.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Wild. They die for the dumb. Oh man, the stupid.
Jackson
shit.
would be a dead fucking horse.
Yeah, me too, dude.
All of us. What am I talking about? I threw up on my own shirt.
Nice.
Like, we all did.
A brand new
and
shirt.
abandoned the shirt.
I threw the whole shirt away. I no longer own that shirt. Kevin, next time you get off to go to like Topgolf or something, you should see if my shirt's still there.
Was it on the drive out of Topgolf? Like, where was it?
It was off 295, like that UNF Topgolf exit.
You threw
that
it
first
off
one,
the overpass?
No, so it's on the ground side by the lake pond
It was
thing.
he threw it off the side of the off ramp.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
but
near
that's
where
the exit I take
retention
to go
ponds
home.
are.
That's the exit off
Yes.
295 I take to go
Yeah.
home.
That's where we were going, to your place.
So it's just right there. I didn't know where it was.
Yeah, you should like if we would have left, like if our Uber would have showed up maybe 3 minutes earlier, there would have been no way I would have thrown up in that Uber.
Damn, you were so close.
I was so close.
Damn.
That's what hurts the most.
All right. Well, we want to thank Phillip Karaya, right? That's how you say your last name?
Yes, sir.
For coming on. Do you have anything like? What do you want to kind of like outro or plug? Or
Please
anything
plug
like
your
that?
social media
Yeah.
and anything else you can.
Okay, well, first off, thank you guys for having me. It's definitely been awesome. I would definitely like to hang out with you guys when you guys are actually in Atlanta or come out to you guys. But outside of that, feel free to follow me on social media at on Instagram, phillip.karaya, or at Finance with Phil. I started another Instagram where I do some tutorials and a YouTube. I was kind of busy, but now life is a little more free, so I'm going to get right back on it. So, and also, if you want to check out my business website, www.karayaconsulting.com, then it also has links to any other way to reach me.
I will also be linking that in the description, and he'll be in the Instagram stories and stuff like that, so you'll see
Twitter,
his name as
Instagram, website, all of it.
So, appreciate you guys.
And
Hell yeah, man! Tell your friends.
You got it.
yes,
We'll tell ours.
yes, we have told ours. These are our friends.
Yeah, we're done.
All right, thank you guys. See ya.
See you
Thank
next
Phil.
week.
See ya.
Peace.
Push out your back, put your butt in it. Wanna love ya, but I do not wanna commit. So I then twitch ya with the thought of us and we dancing up in the corner, feeling for the corner pocket. So I ease you up for just a bit. Buy your drink, you have a sip. Then I tell you we should dip. You're grabbing me close and closer till you get a kiss. Push up your bra to the left, that's right. Now we in the car with a broke brake light. Thinking about that, the leg, the hit, the sex, the whip, the figure for leg lock. Then we dip out.
You say wanna party all day. You say need it, love it from me. You